Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Getting Started with Kiddo introductory webinar. My name is Alison King, and I am the Kiddo Programs Manager, and I'll be leading you through the webinar today. This webinar today is ideal for anybody who is new to Kiddo, but also for those of you that have used Kiddo before and you want to check out all the updates that we have made over the past couple of months. We've made some fantastic upgrades to make your user experience much better for you, and we're going to be going through them all today. So today what we're going to show you is we're going to show you how to navigate the website, where to find everything, how to set your school membership up if maybe you are a new school, and then we're going to go through all the features and functions of the websites and show you everything that it can do. Because Kiddo is not just a program for PE teachers or early childhood teachers, we are a program for all classroom teachers as well. We provide a whole variety of brain breaks that classroom teachers that can use, and also a morning fitness planner that you can customize to suit your class and schedule the activities in as you see fit. We are also currently deep into developing the Kiddo 3 to 6 program, which we are launching in 2025. And we're really excited because this is going to make Kiddo truly a whole school program that can be used from kindergarten or preschool all the way through to year 6. So we hope you enjoy the webinar today. If you do have any questions about the webinar or going through, you have questions about the website, please don't hesitate to get in touch with the Kiddo team. We're more than happy to answer your questions. But here it is. I hope you enjoy. All right, so when you go to kiddo.edu.au, this is what you will see. So if you would like to try Kiddo for free and do your free trial, all you have to do is click on this button, click whether you're a primary school or an early learning service, put in a number of students, and then start your trial. There's no credit cards, there's nothing that you need to do, and you are not locked into purchasing the membership after you have done your free trial. If you are a member, you need to go to this login page and put in your school email address or whatever email address that you have linked to your Kiddo membership and your password and log in. All right, so if you are a first-time user of Kiddo, so you've just purchased it for your school, this is not exactly the screen that you will see. What you will see is a screen that is asking you to set up your classrooms and things. So basically, I'm going to show you how to do all of that today. So I'm going to go through all the administration side of things, getting your school set up, the programming side of things, so the lessons, the programs, assessments, reporting insights, and introduce you to the morning fitness planner, which is one of our new features. But the very best advice that I can give you is once you have your login details is to log in and have a play and have a look around. The website that we are using today, the membership that we are using, is in a test pool of users. So we can put data in and it's not going to affect any of our percentiles. However, when you have your membership, all of your data is live data that goes straight into our percentile. So I absolutely recommend that you do create an assessment and have a little play and put in some data, but we can just please ask that if you could delete that after you have finished having a play, because it is real data, it will go straight into our percentile ranking pool, and so we don't want that to affect our actual percentiles. But we do encourage you to have a little play around with the assessment. So as I said, when you log in for the first time, there's a message inviting you to set up your classrooms and add your staff. Now, only managers can do this. So you'll know if you are a manager because you will have this blue cog in the top right-hand corner. So I am a manager for this Kiddo example school. So I have this blue cog. If you don't have that blue cog and you think that you should, make sure you get in touch with us and we can organise to help you with that. But basically what we're in now, we are in the management menu. So this is where you would need to go to set up your school. So you can click on the cog. When you log in, it will either take you there or you can click on the cog to get there. And the first thing that we want to do is we need to set up the classrooms. Now, you need to do this every year. It doesn't matter if you've had Kiddo for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Every year you're going to have new classrooms. So every year you need to set up your classrooms. So what you want to do is you want to click on classrooms in the management menu. And then you can see that we have a whole list. These are our current classrooms that we have. So I've already set a few up. So there's a few 2024 ones in there. There's a few 2023 ones in there. You can name your classrooms anything that you like, whatever is going to identify them for you. So we are going to add a classroom. We're going to click on this button here, add a classroom. And we're going to call this one Pre-Primary Red. Pre-Primary Red 2024. Now this is a pre-primary class, which is foundation. So everywhere all around Australia has a different name for that very first year of full-time schooling. So in ACT New South Wales, it is actually kindergarten. In the Northern Territory, it's transition. In Queensland, Tasmania and Victoria, it's foundation or prep. In South Australia, it's reception. And in WA, it's pre-primary. So we have called it foundation, but foundation is that first year of full-time schooling. So we're going to call this a foundation class, and then we're going to save it. Now, a question that we get asked often is, what do you do if you have a split class? Unfortunately, there's no feature for you to add a split class, so you do have to choose a particular year level. So what you need to do is you need to look at the balance of numbers in your class. So for example, if you have a split year 1-2 class, if the majority of the class are year 1, you might want to allocate them as a year 1 class. You also need to consider the developmental level of your class members. So maybe it is a year 1-2 split, but the year 1s in there are really have a high developmental age, and so you might want to allocate it as a year 2 level. But ideally, what we would like you to do is to then allocate it to a level, but then create all of your own lessons and all your own programs for your particular split class. The great thing is if you do make a mistake and maybe you've allocated it as a year 1 class and you've decided that that's not high enough, they need to be a year 2, you can go in at any time and you can change it. So we have created pre-primary red. So you can see now down here, there's pre-primary red, our foundation class that doesn't have any students in it yet. So then we're going to go back into this left-hand box. So we can go back into the cog here, or we can go into this black box on the left-hand side, because the next job that we need to do is we need to add our staff members. So there are 2 ways of doing this. If you're doing this for the very first time and you're at a really large school, what I recommend you do is that you go to the import staff box here on the right-hand side. When you go into that, you can allocate them all to a classroom. I actually don't recommend that you do that. I would just choose none. And then you can download our example template. And then all you need to do is, from whatever system your school runs off, you just need to download a spreadsheet of all your teachers, their first name, their last name, and their email address, and then copy and paste it into this sheet. So we've got first name, last name, email. Download, copy and paste all of your staff into there. Save it as whatever you'd like to save it as. And then we can choose the file, whatever you've saved it as, and then upload it, and it will upload all of your staff for you. And then you just press submit and it will upload. I'm not going to upload a whole heap of stuff today, but it's a fairly straightforward process. If you only need to add 1 or 2 staff members, and we do recommend that you add all of your staff members from kindergarten all the way up to year 6, because as I mentioned before, there is a lot of brain breaks, morning fitness, and we are going to be adding kiddo 3 to 6. So I recommend you add all your staff, not just your PE staff and not just your early childhood staff. If everyone has access, there's lots of information on there that everyone can find useful. So if let's say that you're not a new school and you just need to add a couple of staff, or you're a really small school, you don't need to do a bulk upload, you can just add individual staff members. So we are going to add a staff member today who is called Kiddo Webinar, and their email address is kiddowebinar@kiddo.edu.au. Now you can see here that you can choose to give them a role. So if they are a classroom teacher, you can give them the role of educator, and then then you can allocate them a classroom. So let's say Kiddo Webinar is our new class, pre-primary red is the pre-primary red classroom teacher. So we would only add Kiddo Webinar to that pre-primary class. If you are a PE specialist and you are teaching multiple classes, I recommend that you have the manager role and you are added to all of the classes that you teach. Again, if you're maybe a dot teacher and you have multiple classes, you can be added to all the classes that you are teaching. But you will only be able to see the classes that you have been added to. All right, so we're going to submit that. And then when we go back into our staff, we should be able to see that our Kiddo Webinar has been added. There they are, Kiddo Webinar, Pre-Primary Red 2024, and we have allocated them as an educator. You can see that all of the staff members here have been allocated to classrooms, and if you ever need to edit something, so each year obviously people will change classes, very simple to do. All you go into the 3 little dots on the right hand side next to their name, you click edit, and there's their name, and then there is their class, so you can change that from kindergarten red to pre-primary 2024, whatever you need to do, whatever their classroom has been changed to. You can change them from an educator to a manager, and then you just press save. Very simple. The other thing that you can do is when a staff member leaves your organisation or your school, it's really important to remove them from your Kiddo membership, mainly because if they do go to another school that has a Kiddo membership and they need to be added to that, they can't be added to the new membership until they're removed from your membership. So at the end of every year or the start of every year, we really recommend that you just go through, add all your new staff, allocate them to their new classrooms, and then remove all the old staff from your membership. Okay, so I'll just show you how to remove a staff member. So we're going to go all the way down. I've got test user here. I'm just going to remove them. Confirm. And so test user is no longer part of our school. So I go down the bottom, there's no more test user there. So very simple and very easy to do. So new staff members will receive a link from Kiddo once you have added them in, which will give them a link to reset their password, and then from then on they will have access, and then whatever classrooms you have given them access to, they will only have access to those classrooms unless they are a manager. All right, moving on to students. So it's really important to upload your students especially if you are going to be doing some assessments. So you can do in the individual classes, or you can do it here in the management menu. If you are the person that is in charge of adding all the students, you can do it either way. I personally prefer to do it class by class. So what we need to do here, you can see all of our classes are up here, or you can do it here. So if you go into import students, so you can import students the same way that you imported them with your staff. You only ever import students once. So if we import them year in, year out, what happens is if the data is not uploaded in exactly the same way, it will try and upload your old students as new students. But which we don't want, especially if they've got data attached to them. So we recommend that you only import students once, but when you do, you can do it in bulk. So if we click import students, and we're going to import students today into Kindergarten Blue 2024. So we're going to import that in. Again, you can download your example template. It looks a little bit different to the staff template that we had. Let's get that opened up. All right, so this is what it looks like. So we have some example data in there for you. So the first thing that you should do is just expand this column just so you can see the date of birth properly. So you'll see they've got their first name, last name. Date of birth must be in this format, okay? It has to be in that format or it will not be recognised. There is gender, male, female, or other. If you don't want to write the full word, you can just have M and F, and I'll show you that in the one that I'm going to upload. And then what we also have here is parent and guardian email addresses, and that's to join our Parent Hub. Now, you do not have to have that information when you upload students for the first time. The only information that you must have is the first name, last name, date of birth, and gender. As long as you have that, it will upload correctly. In terms of adding parent email addresses, it's really important that you ask for permission first. We often get emails from angry parents saying, why did you email me and add me to this thing? I didn't ask to be invited to this. So you need to let them know, because as soon as you add their email address, a link goes out from Kiddo inviting them to log in and change their password. So it's really important that you make sure that you have that permission. A great way of doing it, at the start of the year, your schools will often ask for bulk consent to use a whole lot of apps that they might be using, things like Mathletics. Kiddo is part of that. So we had an audit by the education department, and we were given an amber rating. So what that means that at the start of the year, if you do get that bulk consent from parents, Kiddo can be part of that bulk consent. So we actually also have a parent information consent form on our website in the resources section, where it's all done for you. You can edit it so that you can add your school logo and change any of the wording that you want to. But we highly recommend that before you add parents to the Parent Hub, that you send out that consent letter so that they know exactly what is happening. All right, so we have done that. We're not going to put in any parent guardian information, but I have downloaded one already to show you exactly. So I'm going to choose a file because I have one saved already. So I'm going to upload Kindergarten Blue here, and then I just press submit, and then it has added all of my students into there. Oh, actually, it'll be in here. Kindergarten Blue, where are you? Here. There they are. So there's all my students that have been added. And because we did not have any email addresses in there, you'll see that there's a cross that parents haven't been invited and parents are not active on the Parent Hub. And that's totally fine. And I'll show you a bit later on how you can go back and add parent email addresses. When you are saving your file, that's something I forgot to mention, you must make sure you save it as a CSV file, otherwise it will not work. All right, so we have uploaded our kindergarten class, but what do you do with your previous students that you need to move from one classroom to another? So we recommend that you do this manually. So we're going to move Kindergarten Red 2023 to Pre-Primary Red and Blue 2024. So I'm going to go into my dashboard for this. So there's a little button up the top that says Dashboard, which is actually what I'm in. And I need to find Kindergarten Red 2023. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to find this little Students tab here. I'm going to click on that. So these are I had a really small Kindergarten Red class. There were only 5 students. So I know that Luna Lovegood, Roger Tiles, and School Webinar are all moving into Pre-Primary Red. So I have selected them, and you can see that once I have selected a student, this little box called Move pops up. So I'm going to click on Move, and they are going into Pre-Primary Red. Where are you? Pre-Primary Red 2024. Pre-Primary. Oh, that must be down the bottom. Hang on a second. There it is, right down the bottom. They're going to Pre-Primary Red. So I'm going to click Move. And they're going to get moved into their new classes. And there you go. And there you can see there's only 2 students left in that class. And then when I go into Pre-Primary Red, you can see that my 3 students are in there. So it's very quick and easy to do. If you have students that have left the school, what we actually recommend that you do, you just don't move them into a new classroom, because what we're going to do now is archive the old classrooms. So there's no need to move them into a new classroom. So yeah, what we then want to do is we go back into our classes in the management menu. So in here, and we just want to archive that any of the classes that are from 2023. So all I have to do is click on Kindergarten Red 2023, and I'm going to untick the active box and save. We're not losing any data. All the data is on there. What we're doing is we're just hiding it so it doesn't clutter up our dashboard. So we only want to be able to see the classrooms that are visible, that are the 2024 classrooms. And you can see I can go back and I can look at all my archived classrooms, and I can unarchive them at any time. So we're not losing any data. We're just making sure that it's a little bit easier for us to use. Okay. If you want to add parents a little bit later, so let's say I want to add my pre-primary red classes. If I go into students, there is an import export button. I can actually click on that. I can export students down here. And then I can go in and I can enter all the parent email addresses. Then I can save it and re-import it. So there are my students, my 3 students in that class. All I have to do is add my first name, last name, and their email addresses, save it as a CSV file, choose that file, and then submit it, and all the parent emails will be uploaded. Okay, back to the dashboard. So if you want your staff to access the professional development, it's easiest to access from the black box on this side. So it's a primary school certificate of physical literacy. It says it takes about 6 hours. It'll take a little bit less than that. There's 6 modules. We highly recommend that you get all staff to complete it. The research, we've done some research on this at Kiddo, and it shows that after completing this private school's certificate of physical literacy, they were much more confident to deliver fundamental movement programs. Right, so then I can go back to the dashboard, and you see here back to the Kiddo website. So if I click on that, this takes me back to the website. So I want to click on primary schools. And then from here, I can find all the fundamental movement skills. So you can click on each of those fundamental movement skills. It will give you teaching strategies, teaching cues, all sorts of things. I'm not going to go through it all today. Activities. So you can browse by skill, by age, by type, or by keywords. There's over 240 activities on there that you can access. So I'll just show you just one activity just so you can have a look. Many of them have videos. You can download the activity. It shows you how to play, how to set it all up, variations, physical literacy tips, all sorts of things. Then we have our resource section. Lots of resources that you can download at home, activity packs, resources for parents, a balanced dice, all sorts of things that you can use. But I just want to direct you to our Kiddo yearly planning overview. So we have one of these specific for each state. So I'm going to download the WA one right now. And what we have here is a term-by-term plan for kindergarten, which is that year before full-time school, all the way up to year 2. So basically how we have chosen these skills and why we're teaching them then, it's based on research and evidence and child's developmental readiness. So at the start of the year, we're doing simple locomotor skills, skills that they have done previously, so maybe doing a little bit of revision. There's no more than 3 skills at any one time, and we also try to link them to different sporting seasons. So, for example, in Western Australia, most of the athletics carnivals are run in term 3, so that's why we have things like run, jump, catch, those sorts of things are in term 3. So it is, and also, of course, linked to the curriculum and what skills need to be taught. So that is a suggestion to help you. You absolutely do not have to follow that. We also suggest when to assess. It's just to help you if you're not sure where to start. Attached to that are lesson plans. So that's term 1, kindergarten, a 45-minute lesson for weeks 1 to 10, has a warm-up activity, 3 skill activities, and a fun finishing game. Tells you which equipment they need to use, and then it just goes back, you just need to go back and have a look at the game. So we've got those for every year group for each term. Okay. Right, I'm going to go back to the dashboard now. So I'm going to click up here on the dashboard. And when you go back to that dashboard, it takes you into your overview page. So from here, you can see what this is pre-primary red. So they're doing jumping, overarm and throw program this week, this term. This is their lesson for the week. You can view their lesson for the week. We also have morning fitness and brain break suggestions. Which children need additional support. So they were in the bottom 20th percentile across on average for all 5 tests or all of the tests that they have done. I'm just getting... you can see your insights and all sorts of things. All right. So I want to direct you to the lessons tab now. All right, so from here, this is pre-primary red. So these are the foundation lessons. You can see all of the kiddo created lessons that are foundation, suitable for foundation. So you can view those lessons, you can print those lessons from there. What you can also do is you can create your own lessons. So in here, I'm going to click the create lesson button. I'm going to call this webinar lesson. And this is for pre-primary 2024, whatever you like to put in here. Now, this is a new feature. So this little button here is shareable. So if I click this button, I can share that lesson with everybody within my organization. So that means that all the other pre-primary teachers will be able to see this lesson and use it if they choose. You can also choose to share it everywhere, which means that everyone that has a kiddo membership will be able to view your lesson. I'm just going to share within my organization. You can add your learning intentions in there. Skills, we're just going to do balancing and running. This is a really important part of the process because what the program then does is it filters all of the balance and running activities that are suitable for foundation students that you can then choose to create your lesson. So for warm up, we're going to do animal walks so you can view what the activity is here before you choose it. We're going to do animal walks. Then we're going to do some balance twister. We're going to do some beanbag balances, and then we're going to do some builders and bulldozers. And then we're going to finish with, what will we finish with? Maybe a bit of Minecraft tag. Save that. And there is my custom webinar lesson, and it has the little shared button to know that it can be shared with other people. So what you can also do then, if you want to find lessons, so let's say that you're the pre-primary blue teacher and you want to see what your pre-primary red teacher has been creating. So these are all the internal lessons that people within your school have created. So there's my webinar lesson there. If you choose that lesson, you can view them, you can choose them. If you choose that lesson, it will be added. And then these are the external lessons. So here's a few that I have personally created for our Mount Hawthorn Before School program that have been shared. So then once I save that, you can see that then it pops up there, the example foundation lesson. So you'll have access to a whole lot more lessons, and it's really easy to share them with your colleagues. If you need any help with that, there's a little help tab here. So it shows you how to create, edit, and what you can do. It can also take you straight to the yearly planner. So then how do you get those lessons to appear on your dashboard? If that's what you want to teach, how do you get them to appear? So you have to create a program. So you need to go into this programs tab here. And you can see again, these are all the Kiddo created programs. And we have dropped them into a schedule here. So, but this is completely customizable. So if this doesn't suit you, you can press this customize button and there's a little arrow that pops up. Let's say that you don't want to do jump and throw and you want to switch them around. So you can put hop, catch and gallop in there, and then you can put jump and throw in there. Whatever you choose to do, it's completely customizable, and that will pop up on the dashboard for that particular classroom. If you decide you want to go back to the Kiddo programs, all you do is you press revert and it will go back to what we had in there. But if you want to create your own program, it's really simple to do. So webinar program, assessment, you may or may not be conducting assessment within this program. That's okay. Again, you can make this shareable within your organization or everywhere. The skills, so we were doing balancing and running. Assessment types, if you're planning on assessing, you can select them there. We're not doing any assessment with this program. And then select the lessons. So you can select from the Kiddo ones that are there and include them. I might choose our example foundation lesson that we got from our custom lessons. And then the lesson that we created was the webinar lesson. And then we might add in another balance and jump lesson. So then once you save that, you'll find that it then appears on your programs. If you want to find programs that other people have done, so again, there's the program. So if you're a PE specialist, you can create a program for all of your pre-primary classes and you can share it to each individual class. So I can choose that program, I can view it, I can choose it, and same with external programs. To get that to appear on your dashboard, we need to customize. We need to take out the program that's in there. And then all we do is we just drag and drop. So then for this class, when we go back to our overview page up the top, you'll see that it is now balancing and running because those are the skills that we have chosen to do in our program. And there's the example foundation lesson for this week that's popped up. So it's really easy to customize it to suit your own school and your own school's needs. All right, going to move on to assessment now. We've had some really major upgrades in this area. So I think I'm going to go pre-primary blue for assessment. So they've already done quite a bit of assessment. Actually, I might go back to pre-primary red because they haven't got any done. So it's really easy. When you want to add an assessment, you just click add assessment. We're going to call this again webinar assessment. Now the assessment date is actually quite important. You need to try and choose the date that you're going to assess on. Because your percentiles are calculated from that date. So if you're planning on assessing over a number of lessons, try and pick a date that's sort of in the middle of that. We're going to assess today. And challenges. If you are planning on using the reports, it is really important that you tick all of these boxes. If you only, let's say you're just doing balance on this particular day, if you do not select all of the other challenges, then when you go to print the reports, they will all come up on separate reports. So even if you don't assess all of these challenges on the same day, you need to select, but if you are planning on running all of the challenges, you need to select all of them so they appear on the same report. It's really, really, really important that that happens. Then you select your students. So we're going to select all three, and then we're going to click save. Information on all the tests and the protocols are here. There is a video for every one of them. I highly recommend that you watch those when you get a chance before you administer the tests, because we need to keep the protocols the same to make sure that our percentiles are accurate. So there is our assessment there. So now we are going to run some trials. Now, I am a paper person, So I have a paper sheet, and instead of inputting it straight into the iPad or the phone out on the oval, I'm going to write it down on paper, and then I'm going to input it later. So if that's what you would prefer to do, you need to click bulk entry. So for my 3 students here, I've done all of my assessment. I'm coming in to enter it all. So here's Luna Lovegood. So she got 23 seconds on her left leg. She got 33 seconds the second time, 12 seconds on her right leg, and 13 seconds on her right leg the second time. So you can add in also any observations if you made any observations while you were out there, and you can add in any comments. So perhaps Luna was distracted today. Okay, and then it will save that for you. Then I can either choose to go down to my next student and do his balance, or I can continue on doing with Luna's, whatever I want to do. So it's really quick and easy to enter all of your results. So bounce and catch, she got 12. You don't even have to press save. You just move to the next one. You can use your tab button. Jump for distance. She got 123. Then she got 120. Kick for distance, she got 21 meters. And then she got 18 meters. So you can add it all in really, really quickly. Now you'll notice as well that it won't give you a green dot until you have done all of the assessments. So don't worry about that. It just means that you haven't done all of the assessments yet. There's always information up here if you need help. So to start your bulk data entry, how you enter the data, observations, comments, how you synchronize. So that's all there for you as well if you need some help. But that's the bulk entry. So that's if you don't want to take your device out and do it straight into your device. The other way you can do it is you can go into run trials. So let's go into Roger. So you can see that there's a little box that says online. If you have really poor internet where you are, and maybe when you're out on the oval, you don't have good enough internet to be able to do this online, as long as you have created the assessment within good internet, once you get to this section, it doesn't matter if you're not online or not. It will save everything to your device, and then it will sync it when you get back into good internet. So if we have a look at Roger, so we've got his bounce and catch. So we've got our timer is on there. You can do your observations while you're watching them. You can put comments up the top here. That will automatically stop at 20 seconds because that's what the time is for the bounce and catch test. So let's say we get to 20 seconds and Roger has done 14. So then I save that trial and it's saved, but you can see it's syncing the data down the bottom. If you are not in good internet, it will just have that syncing box on there until you are in good internet again. So again, I can either go to my next, if we're just doing bounce and catch today, into school webinar, start for that, do my observations. So it's just a lot easier to navigate than what it was previously. And then when I want to get back out of that, I just press the little button at the top. Okay. So once we have done some assessments, I'll go into pre-primary blue because I know they have some. When you go into students, what you can see here is there is a bit of a traffic light system. So the green means that they're progressing well. The yellow means they may need some additional help. So this is based on the percentile rankings that we have over 70,000 children's data in our database. And the red shows you that they need some additional assistance. You'll also see here that once you have done some testing, you'll automatically generate these percentile reports. So I can click on this and download this for Audrey. And there's her percentile report. So she's done bounce and catch, balance and kick for distance. And there is her percentile on there. You can share this with parents. All the percentiles are explained, as well as some activities to help. Okay, and then once you have done multiple assessments, so let's say we tested Audrey at the start of the year and at the end of the year, then you can get a progress report. Progress reports are fantastic to show learning, particularly for those kids who might be in the lower percentiles. It doesn't matter if they're still in a low percentile, but if you've got green arrows that show that they're improving, it's a really great indication that shows what you are doing in class is working. And you can start getting, if you test them in kindy and then in pre-primary or prep or transition for that first year full-time school, then in year 1 and then in year 2, you can start getting a really good picture of their fundamental movement skill development. So all of that is automatically generated for you. So you can, if you click all of those, you can download all of those reports to be printed out. You can email them to parents. You can do all of that. Okay, and then here you can see if the parent has been invited and the parent's active, so you can email the parents the reports. And so that's a great way. Once you have invited the parents, you can then see, so this parent, Harry Potter's parent, has been invited but is not active, has not yet accepted that invitation. Okay, the other button up here is the insights. Okay, so these are automatically generated graphs, so you can keep an eye on how your class is progressing. So the blue is the class average. So this is a class average for balance, 18.8 seconds. And the black is the national average for all the students that we have in our database. So this is a really great thing to show admin once you've done some testing, if you're trying to get some more time for fundamental movement skills. You know, if there is a big discrepancy between the class average and the national average. Over at the bounce and catch, they're doing really well. They're well above the national average. Just remember, this is not real data. This is pretend data that we have put in. And they haven't done jump for distance yet, so we don't have a score for that. So you can keep an eye on how your class is progressing. Okay, just back to the management menu for a second, back into the cog. With the reports, if you go into the reports, if for some reason you don't want your parents to have access to those progress and percentile reports, all you have to do is untick these boxes, and then when they go into the parent hub, they won't be able to download or see those reports. But in here, you can customize all of the language with the reports. You can change it. You can upload your logo, anything that you need to do to personalize it for your school. And if you are a manager and you go into results, you're also able to export all of your data into an Excel spreadsheet. So for example, I can do it by class here. And I might want to do just the kindergarten classes. So I can see all the data from 2022, 2024, 2023, and then I can make some graphs. So I can filter that and I can download that. And then all of that data will then be in an Excel spreadsheet. And you can make your own graphs and do some filtering of the data to present to admin or to see how your students are going. So there's an example of how it works. All right, so we're nearly done. I'm just going to go back to the dashboard. I've only got a couple more things to show you. So this, if you go into the planner tab, this is our morning fitness planner. So this has all been done for you, and this is what will pop up on your dashboard. However, maybe you want to choose your own activities. So if you want to choose your own activities, all you have to do is customize your morning fitness. Now you can only do this preemptively. So if you wanted to change today's activity, so sneaky sheep, soccer, it won't let you. So, but it will let me change tomorrow's. So I've just changed musical soccer to animal walks. I'm going to change here, there, everywhere, nowhere soccer to II Captain. So we'll only let you change ones in the future. Again, the little box is there, the little cross is there. So if you want to change it back to what we've selected, you can do that. So you can go through, you can pick the favorite activities that your students really, really love, and you can have them all set up for morning fitness, and then that will then pop up for you when it loads. It will then pop up here. So today's activity was sneaky sheep, but if we change tomorrow's activity to whatever we changed it to, that's the activity that'll pop up tomorrow. All right, I just want to briefly show you the Parent Hub. So the Parent Hub, oh, I have to log out of that one. Hang on. Won't let me be logged into two different ones at the same time. So this is what parents see in the Parent Hub. So this is the students. So I've got 2 students. I must have 2 students in kindy or pre-primary or kindy and year 1. So this is Gemma's. I can download her progress report. I can download her percentile report. It shows me what Gemma is doing at school. It's got some activities that we can do at home together, help develop her skills at home, skill videos, all sorts of things that the parents would be interested in having a look at. Okay, I'm going to go back into, all right. Then back onto this page here, the last thing that I'm going to show you is our support menu. So if you're going to support for primary school teachers and staff, everything that you need is here. So if you're having trouble with the assessments, you can go into assessments, creating assessment, running an assessment, have a look. If for some reason you can't find what you're looking for, please email us at admin@kiddo.edu.au. There's lots of information in the support section. There's also videos that you can watch if you're having difficulties, you know, assessment insights and reporting. You can watch that as well. All right, I'm just going to stop sharing my screen. All right, very brief look into everything that Kiddo has to offer. I hope that has helped you. Again, if you have any questions about the Kiddo program, please let us know. We are always here to help. And I really thank you for watching our webinar today, and we hope to see you soon.